Dr. Emma Taylor, a leading neuroscientist, dedicated her life to unraveling the mysteries of the human brain. Her fascination began in childhood, observing her grandfather succumb to Alzheimer's, his memories fading like whispers in the wind. Driven by a thirst for knowledge and a desire to combat such cruel neurological disorders, Emma excelled in her field, becoming a beacon of hope for countless patients. Little did she know, her life's work would lead her to a horror beyond imagination. Emma's world shifted on its axis the day the devourer was admitted to her care. A patient with no name, no past, only a chilling ability to consume the memories of others. The devourer, as he came to be known, was a medical marvel, a terrifying enigma. Emma, initially skeptical, found herself drawn to him, a moth to a deadly, alluring flame. Her scientific curiosity quickly morphed into an obsession, blurring the lines between professional detachment and morbid fascination. Emma's interactions with the devourer were chillingly sterile. He sat, strapped to a chair, eyes vacant yet radiating an unnatural intensity. When he spoke, his voice was a hollow echo devoid of emotion. Hungry, he would rasp, and a shiver would crawl down Emma's spine. The first time she witnessed his ability, she was horrified yet strangely exhilarated. A nurse checking on the devourer suddenly went pale, her eyes wide with terror. I don't remember," she stammered, her hand flying to her head. "My childhood, my family, it's gone." The devourer's hunger grew with each passing day. More staff members fell victim, their memories devoured, leaving them empty shells. The hospital buzzed with fear. Whispers of a curse, a malevolent entity, replaced the sterile hum of medical equipment. Yet Emma pressed on, documenting every detail, her fascination overriding her fear. She felt an unsettling connection with the devourer, a sense of shared darkness she couldn't explain. The first sign of Emma's own memory loss was subtle. A forgotten appointment, a misplaced key. She dismissed them as stress, the toll of endless hours spent studying the devourer. But the lapses grew more frequent, more unsettling. Faces of colleagues became unfamiliar, names escaping her grasp like wisps of smoke. Panic began to gnaw at the edges of her brilliant mind. Her reflection in the mirror seemed foreign, her own eyes staring back with an unnerving emptiness that mirrored the devourer's. One morning she woke up in her lab, surrounded by scattered notes and cold coffee. Her head throbbed with a dull ache, and a chilling realization washed over her. She couldn't remember the previous day. Terror, cold and sharp, pierced through her. The devourer's hunger had spread, its tendrils reaching out to consume her, the one who had sought to understand it. She was trapped in a nightmare of her own making. Dr. Emma Taylor's descent into madness was gradual but inevitable. The more she studied the devourer, the more she felt her own memories slipping away. She began to question her own sanity, wondering if she was becoming like her patients. Her colleagues noticed the change in her, but she brushed off their concerns, insisting she was fine. But deep down she knew the truth. The devourer was consuming her, just as he had consumed so many others, and there was nothing she could do to stop it. As days turned to weeks, Emma's once sharp mind became a foggy haze. She found herself losing track of time, unable to recall even the simplest of tasks. Her research, once meticulous and groundbreaking, turned into incoherent scribbles. The lab, a place of discovery and hope, now felt like a prison. Every corner held a memory she could no longer grasp. Every shadow whispered of her impending doom. One evening, as the sun set and the lab was bathed in an eerie twilight, Emma sat alone, surrounded by the remnants of her life's work. Her hands trembled as she flipped through her notes, each page a testament to her brilliance and her downfall. Tears streamed down her face as she realized the full extent of her situation. The devourer had won. Her mind, once a fortress of knowledge, was now a crumbling ruin. In a final act of defiance, Emma recorded a message, her voice shaking yet resolute. "To those who come after me, beware. The devourer is not just a subject of study, it is a force. a presence that consumes all in its path. Do not make the same mistake I did. Guard your mind, for it is your most precious possession. With those words, she turned off the recorder, her fate sealed. The devourer's hunger had claimed another victim, leaving behind only echoes of a brilliant mind lost to the void. In her final days, Emma's mind was a fractured landscape of half-remembered faces and disjointed memories. She could no longer distinguish between reality and the nightmares that plagued her. The hospital staff found her one morning curled up in a corner of her lab, muttering incoherently about the devourer. They tried to help her, but it was too late. Emma Taylor, once a brilliant neuroscientist, had become a shell of her former self, her mind devoured by the very thing she had sought to understand. As the days grew darker, Emma's presence in the lab became a haunting reminder of the dangers of her research. The once bustling environment was now eerily silent, the air thick with the weight of her unspoken fears. Colleagues who once admired her brilliance could only watch in sorrow as she drifted further into the abyss. In the dim light of her final hours, Emma's eyes flickered with fleeting moments of clarity. She scribbled her last thoughts in a tattered notebook, each word a desperate plea for understanding, a cry for help that would never come. Her final entry read, "The devourer is not just a force, it is a mirror reflecting the darkest corners of our minds, feeding on our deepest fears." Emma's decline was swift, her once vibrant spirit now a ghostly whisper. The hospital staff, despite their best efforts, could do nothing but offer solace in her final moments. As she took her last breath, the room seemed to hold its breath with her, the silence a testament to the tragedy of her brilliant yet doomed pursuit. In the aftermath, her colleagues gathered her fragmented notes and recordings, piecing together the remnants of her life's work. They vowed to continue her research, not out of ambition, but to honor her memory and to heed her final warning. The devourer had claimed Emma Taylor, but her legacy would live on as a beacon of caution and a testament to the fragile nature of the human mind. Thus ended the life of Dr. Emma Taylor, a brilliant mind lost to the void, but her story a powerful reminder of the perilous path of knowledge and the haunting echoes of a lost mind.